Good afternoon, students. My name is GVR Lakshman Rao, lecturer in mining engineering, Gout Polytechnic, Bellampally. Today, I am going to explain under the chapter Explosives and Blasting Practice. Permitted explosives and its composition, precautions to be taken while using permitted explosives, the main objective of my today's class is know the various permitted explosives, precautions, composition and examples. In the previous classes under explosives and blasting practice chapter, we discussed various things. What is an explosive? What is low explosive? What is high explosive? What are the required characteristics of explosives? And properties of high explosives. What is permitted explosives? What are the tests that are going to be conducted while giving the permission? These topics are discussed in the last chapter. In the last class, we discussed permitted explosives. Classification of permitted explosives. What is a permitted explosive? A permitted explosive is one which can be subjected to stringent tests by CMRS, Coal Mine Research Station. Tests like coal dust test, gas test and flame duration test. I would like to recap those things a short while for 3 to 5 minutes. I would like to recap that one for 3 to 5 minutes. If you want to use an explosive in underground mines, underground gassy mines, if you tell frankly, every mine in India is a gassy mine. Either it may be first degree or second degree or third degree. But every mine comes under, as per Mines Act, it is every coal mine in India is a gassy mine. It may be first or second or third, depending upon the presence of CH4 in the surrounding atmosphere or general body of the air of mine. To give the permission, there is a institution called CMRS, Coal Mine Research Institution. They will give permission to the manufacturers. If any explosive subjected to the tests conducted by CMRS, and if it is passed, from that onwards the explosive will be called as a permitted explosive. Hence, anyone can use the permitted explosive in underground gassy coal mines. Because every mine is a gassy mine, So every explosive used must be a permitted explosive. Are you catching my point? A normal under coal dust test, a normal charge of explosive is placed in the shot hole and stemmed. It is fired in coal dust having the specifications that volatile matter content in coal dust is 36% and 80% of the coal dust shall pass through the mesh 200 sieve. When shot is fired, there shall not be no ignition of coal dust. I explained in the last class this, what is sieve, what is 200 sieve, like that. If any explosive fired in these conditions or blast exploded in these conditions, if no ignition of fire takes place, then they will give permission. They will grant a permission. That is called coal dust test. In gas test, a normal charge of explosive is placed in a shot hole and a stemmed and unstemmed shot hole is fired in the air containing 9.8% of methane gas. The charge of explosive is not capable to ignite methane gas air mixture. An explosive is notified as permitted explosive. When the standard charge of explosive is not capable to ignite coal dust and methane air mixture under the above two conditions, or what I said in the previous class conditions, that explosive will be called from here onwards called as permitted explosive. A permitted explosive has very short duration. Another test that was conducted by CMRS is flame duration test. The flame duration is less than 1/1000th second. If the flame produced by the explosive lasts in 1/1000th second, then the explosive will be treated as passed in the flame duration test. Then they will give the permission and they will be used in the underground gassy coal mines. This is the general test conducted by CMRS. When come to the classification, there are 5 types of explosives are there: P1, P2, P3, P4, P5. Those are sheathed, unsheathed, equivalent sheathed, ultra sheathed and unsheathed explosives. While using these permitted explosives, you must follow some certain precautions while using these permitted explosives. In underground gassy mines, only permitted explosives are used. There is no doubt in it. At the same time, in underground coal mines, only cartridges are used. The precautions to be taken while using permitted explosives in coal mines is: coal must be undercut, overcut or side cut. Otherwise, permission must be sought from DGS for solid blasting. As everybody knows that what is gallery, a roadway driven in the coal seam is called gallery. The moving front of any gallery is called a face. Generally, face looks like a wall. In conventional mining methods, there is a machine called coal cutting machine, which is used to give the cutting of face. Cutting of face. This cut of face is necessary to provide the free face. Are you catching my point? If the wall of coal is in equilibrium state, so certain amount of cut is cut by any tool, it is easy to extract remaining coal. If certain depth of the cut is taken place at the bottom of the face, the above coal which is present, the coal present above the cut, the coal present above the cut it is very easy to break. So providing of cutting is called providing free face. In blasting methods, we can see what is free face. So if the blasting is done without providing the free face or cutting, or either side cut or undercut or overcut, whatever be the cut may be, then the blasting is called solid blasting. Then the blasting is called solid blasting. Here, if you provide the free face or cutting before blasting practice taken place, there is no need to take the permission from the DGMS. If we want to do the solid blasting, then we have to take the necessary permission from the DGMS, Director General of Mine Safety. They will give the permission for solid blasting. For solid blasting, only permitted explosives must be used. For this purpose, the length of shot must be at least 15 centimeters less than the depth of the cut. if you provide a cut at the bottom of the face, that is called undercut. If it is the cut is done at the side of the face, that is side cut. If it is done, the cutting gives, if you give cut at the top of the face, then it is overcut. So for cutting, a coal cutting machine is used to cut the bottom of the face or side or over, whatever it may be. The length of the cut, after completion of the cut, with the help of drilling machine, a drill hole is driven by a coal cutting crew. Generally, the length of a drill rod is 6 feet or 1.8 meters. Or 1.8 meters. If the making of hole is maximum length is 1.8 meters. The making of hole is maximum is 1.8 meters. It is very much necessary. The length of the hole must be less than 15 centimeters than the depth of the cut. So if the depth of the cut is suppose 1.8 meters, the length of the hole what we drill to charge the explosive must be 15 centimeters less than 180 centimeters. 1.8 meters means 180 centimeters minus 15. It should not be more than 165 centimeters or 1.65 meters. This is the precaution to be taken while using permitted explosives. Okay, so the length of the drill hole must be less than at least 15 centimeters less than the depth of the cut. This is one precaution to be taken. No detonator other than copper tube shall be used in underground coal mines. What I am saying is all the precautions to be taken in coal mines, underground coal mines only, not metal mines. Just here I am dealing with underground coal mines precautions while using permitted explosives only. No detonator other than copper tube shall be used. Detonators, it will come in the detonators and blasting practice in the latter time of this chapter. What are the detonators and what type of detonators are there, either plain detonators, electrical detonators, dildo detonators, all these comes in the next topics. Here, while using in underground coal mines, permitted explosives are used with only copper tube detonators but not aluminum tube detonators. Detonators is available in two types. The metal used for manufacturing detonators are two types. one is aluminum, another one is copper. Only copper detonators are used in underground coal mines along with the permitted explosives. If aluminum detonators are used, what happens is, whenever the explosion takes place, the detonator first the detonator explodes and it initiates the explosion of remaining explosion. Are you catch my point? This metal part, in case of aluminum detonator, the cover is manufactured with aluminum. During explosion, the aluminum particles, the aluminum cover particles, spillage will take place. There is a possibility of flagrants. Even after explosion, some particles of aluminum is in the form of burning. Those are called flagrants. They will fall in the surrounding place. If there is any material or combustible material is present in the particular area, there may be a chances of catching a fire. That's why in case of copper it will not be like that. The broken pieces is not burns as like aluminum detonators. That's why usage of aluminum detonators is not taken place. It is not permitted to use aluminum detonators in underground coal mines. Only copper detonators are used. Only copper detonators are used. Where more than one shot are fired, for firing, the shot shall be fired simultaneously. Here, I would like to tell one thing. Before reading this point, you must have to know the meaning of simultaneously. Generally, people think that simultaneous means succession, but it is not correct. Simultaneous means at the same time. Are you catch my point? You must do the two works simultaneously means, if anybody say you must do the two works simultaneously means you have to do the two works at a time. You have to do the two works at a time without any delay or almost at the same time. Where more than one shot is charged for firing, the shot shall be fired simultaneously. Here, explosives are used to break the rock or whatever it may be, coal face, coal. Explosives are charged after drilling the holes around the periphery and at the center of the face. Either sumpers and trimmers are the names of different short holes depending upon the place of holes. Trimmers are placed at the periphery of the face like that. Easers are placed at the center. In between these two holes, sumpers are placed. So for one face 6 to 9 depending upon the width and height of the hole, height of the face, number of holes will be calculated and the depth of the hole is also calculated. If the holes are, if each hole is called shot, the explosive filled each hole is called shot. If you want to explode the shots or different holes, you must have to explode simultaneously or at a time all the holes. It indicates that like in case of undercut, if in case of free face is done, there is no problem of blasting. If the solid blasting takes place at the face, to provide the free face, the shots are filled with the delay detonators. The shots are blasted with delay detonators. One by one shot of holes, explosion takes place to a slight advance, very slight, in 1 by 20th second or 1 by 30th second, 1 by 100th second. Because of the delay detonators, one hole blasted early, then the remaining hole blasted after first hole. So the first blasted hole will provide the free face to the next blasted holes, but all must be charged and exploded simultaneously or at a time. After charging is completed, one shot hole should not be blasted once and then other holes. So the blasting should be done simultaneously of all the charges of all the holes made on the face. So while using permitted explosives, it is very much necessary to blast the holes simultaneously. The average charge in any shot shall be fired. The average charge in any shot to be fired shall not exceed such permissible quantity. Different permissible quantities are here. I will give later. Only the permissible quantity must be put in the holes. You should not overcharge or undercharge. If the permission given is 500 grams, you should not put 600 grams or more than 500 grams. Okay, only permitted quantity should be placed in the blast holes. Should be placed in the blast holes. Various types of charges permissible by DGMS are given below. Only various types of charges. This point will indicate that how much amount of explosive should be placed in one hole. For giving how much quantity the DGMS given charges, permissible charges here, for sheathed and unsheathed explosives it is 795 grams. For sheathed and unsheathed explosives it is 795 grams. For equivalent sheathed explosives it is 1020 grams. For equivalent sheathed explosives it is 1020 grams. For low density explosives it is 510 grams. For low density explosives that is 510 grams. Beyond this amount or this weight, nobody should charge the holes in underground coal mines. Here different explosives have different limitations to charge into the holes. Once again I want to tell these permissible weights. For sheathed and unsheathed explosives it is 795 grams. For sheathed and unsheathed explosives 795 grams. For equivalent sheathed explosives it's 1020 grams. For low density explosives it is 510 grams. For low density explosives it is 510 grams. Unsheathed explosives are nothing but P1. Under the classification we discussed 5 types of explosives: P1, P2, P3, P4, P5. Whereas P1 means unsheathed explosives. NaCl2 is incorporated as cooling agent with the main explosive compound in unsheathed explosives P1. Under classification, P1 means unsheathed explosives in which NaCl2 is nothing but an ordinary salt is incorporated as cooling agent with the main explosive compound in unsheathed explosives. In unsheathed explosives, NaCl2 is used as cooling agent. Different constituents of explosives we discussed in previous class. A combustible material, an oxidizing agent, a cooling agent, a stabilizer, a sensitizer is necessary. Here unsheathed explosives P1 are P1 type of explosives. NaCl2 is incorporated as cooling agent with the main explosive compound in unsheathed explosives. The second one is our P2 type of explosives is sheathed explosives. Sheathed explosives. These explosive cartridges are surrounded lengthwise by a sheet of sodium bicarbonate NaHCO3. The thickness of the sheet is 3 mm. The sodium bicarbonate is in powder form, held in a position by a paper wrapper. In sheath type of explosives, sheath means a wrapper. Sheath type of explosives, the explosive cartridge is surrounded lengthwise by a sheet of sodium bicarbonate. A sodium bicarbonate sheet is wrapped with the main compound of explosive is wrapped by a sheath. The sheath is nothing but sodium bicarbonate. The thickness of the sheet is 3 mm. This sodium bicarbonate is in the form of powder held in position by a wrapper. A wrapper is wrapped. At the top of the wrapper or a cover of sodium bicarbonate takes place above the wrapper. The purpose of sheath is to reduce the risk of igniting gas, as it forms an extensive blanket of CO2 and water vapor around the flame and hot gases from the explosive. It protects the charge along the whole length. These are not manufactured in India. Sheath type of explosives are not manufactured in India. If you want to see it, you are supposed to go to foreign. So this sodium bicarbonate which is present on the wrapper will act as a blanket. What happens whenever the detonator detonates? It will ignite the explosive present surrounding to detonator. Detonator detonates, the explosive explodes. This the explosion involves, that is nothing but ignition, involves some flame. A flame produced by the detonator, initiates the explosion of explosive, and the explosive in turn converts into gaseous form by means of flame. So there may be a possibility of occurrence of flame. Not possibility, occurrence of flame is mandatory while exploding the explosion. If this flame ignites the surrounding atmosphere, what happens? If this flame ignites the surrounding atmosphere, the gas present in the surrounding atmosphere or dust present in the surrounding atmosphere, what happens is the explosion will take place. Either coal dust or fire damp explosion will take place. To avoid this, a sodium bicarbonate present on the wrapper will convert into CO and water vapor. This will form like a blanket to the flame arrived during explosion of explosion. So CO2 and water. CO2 will not assist any fire. At the same time, water will catch the temperature present in the flame. Like this, the sodium bicarbonate, which is present on the wrapper, will act as a blanket. This is the reason behind in sheath explosives, the cover of sodium bicarbonate takes place. The entire cover present along the cartridge is having sodium bicarbonate. So the flame produced will be arrested, not ignited. The CH4 or fire damp present in the atmosphere. This is the sheathed explosion. The advantages of sheathed explosives is they reduce the danger of ignition of fire damp and also due to over and undercharged blown out shots. Because of sheathed explosives, sodium bicarbonate is present on the wrapper. These sheathed explosives will not ignite. The coldest, especially fire damp explosion. At the same time, if the charge is a blown out shot takes place, generally the holes are filled. First of all, in indirect initiation or direct initiation, there are two types of initiations are there. The cartridge containing detonator is called primary cartridge. The cartridge which is having detonator is called primary cartridge. If the primary cartridge is placed at the bottom of the hole, then the initiation is called indirect initiation. If the primary cartridge is placed, last of the charge or not bottom of the charge or end of the hole, not bottom of the hole, at the end of the hole, then the charge or the type of initiation is called direct initiation. After putting the complete charge, the hole is stemmed with the stemming material. Generally, clay material is used. Clay pills are used in Singareni collieries. Clay pills are made with 1:3 sand and clay will be mixed, and the diameter of the pill is equivalent to the diameter or just slightly less than the diameter of the hole. After completion of charge, filling of the charge, the clay pills are stemmed into the drill holes. So, if the stemming is not taken place properly, during explosion, the explosive will come out of the hole without doing any proper work. Those are called blown out shots. The shots which cannot do any any work, and they will come out of the hole and blasting takes place. Then the shot is called blown out shot. If you use sheathed explosives, the blown out shot will not ignite the CH4 present in the surrounding atmosphere. This is one of the major advantage. Reduced volume of noxious gases are produced. Almost all explosives are nitrates. The oxidizers which are present in the explosives are oxidizers are nitrates. Sodium nitrate, potassium nitrate, ammonium nitrate, whatever be the nitrate it may be, it will act as an oxidizer. This oxidizer will supply the oxygen to burn the explosive material. Insufficient amount of oxygen, if the nitrates are burned, noxious gases will come. Those are nothing but the noxious gases are nothing but the nitrate gases. N2O2, N2O3, like that. NO2, NO, N2O2. These sheathed explosives will produce less noxious gases. More round coal is produced because of the cushioning action of the sheath. Because of the cushioning action of the sheath, the energy will transmit, and breakage of coal is very round coal will takes place. So these are the advantages of sheathed. The disadvantages, equivalent sheathed, the remaining in the next class. I will complete in the next class. Okay, thank you.